you! You're hurting yourselves, you little idiots. If you're a young guy with no skills and nothing going on right now, this will happen to you. You have to suffer and like go through pain. I lost my job. Well, yeah, like things change. The reason why I have nothing is because greedy people are preventing us from sharing. Once good stuff starts happening to you, don't ease off the gas pedal. That's when it's time to go crazy. There's a pathological aversion to money, and they rationalize it like, should I get a BMW 3 Series? I should upgrade the other parts of my life to match my income. Don't do that. People are getting money now. The old folks fucked everything up. They're dying off. They're exiting the workforce. They're running their own little mini fortunes into the ground with health care for their diabetes, their Corvette payments. You know what I like to say to them? I'd like to say, and stay out. But these old people that ruined everything, they're in their sunset era, okay? And the money is starting to trickle down into millennials, and it'll trickle down to Zoomers, don't you worry. Finally, people are getting some money, and rightfully so. It's time. The MDE fan base is getting older, and people are starting to get money, which you need to send me. And there's also the fact that like talented labor is kind of like going away. Like Zoomers don't want to leave the house. They want to do remote coding jobs and stuff like that. They don't want to do real actual jobs. So people are like making money. Yeah. Like some people are actually like in trades, doing HVAC, electrical, whatever it is, they're making money.
Sammy Guns, I got 60K in cash and I don't know what to do with it.
Damn, people have money now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a good thing. Probably a lot thanks to me. Oh, inheritance. I've heard from a lot of people that they inherit. I guess people die. That makes sense. A lot of people inherit money.
Sam, I recently inherited $1.8 million from my Dr. Grandpa. Any advice on investments? Right now I'm looking at high dividend paying stocks and REITs, but I also want to short stocks.
Oh my God. I want to short stocks. Don't do that. Don't just chill. Hold on to the money for a year or more until you figure out how money works. A lot of investments fail. Most of the things that I've invested in have not yielded anything. What's the number? Is it like 80% of small business?
Like 80% of restaurants.
And there's a ton of small businesses that may not necessarily fail, but they become zombified. There are these places you see in the strip mall, like a pet store or whatever, where it's like the owner's not making a peanut, but somehow they have the money to pay the rent for the structure that they're in, and they can continue existing for whatever many years. But it's like a hellish endeavor. So don't be in a rush to start a business. Most of the things that we do, every video that we start doing has a cost related to it. Even setting up streaming has a cost. And most of the stuff that we do fails. Yeah. Like it doesn't make back the money that we put into it. There are some things, it's like 1 out of 10 things makes an outsized monetary gain that offsets all the bad ideas that I have. This is the best advice for a lot of people, all these people inheriting money. Go out into the real world, save up your own 40K until you figure out how hard it is to make that much money, and then see if you can turn a profit on the 40K that you made. You know what I mean? Like you have to suffer and like go through pain to make your own money before you realize the value of it. Do not blow your inheritance. When you inherit money, you got to treat it like you got nothing, because what'll happen is you think all of a sudden you don't know what to do with that amount of money. Like you have to first build a business or work at your career until you have like a quarter of that amount saved up, so that you realize how important that amount of money is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if you have nothing, you go from having nothing to having a windfall amount of cash, you're just going to blow through it. And you'll do it not in an ostentatious way, but in a stupid way. Like you'll invest in some business that sucks, or you'll do some boneheaded stupid that you wouldn't do if you'd earned the money yourself. So put it away, savings account or whatever. Just like keep hustling and scrambling and try to see if you can organically come up with like 10% or 25% of that amount of money on your own to sort of teach yourself what that amount of money means. It's hard to find a grift. To get to spin up something that works and makes money, it's fucking hard. Yeah. If trucking if it's working, if it's making money, if it's a family thing where you've got this support system, you've got this guy that's like on your team no matter what. You're gonna have arguments with your dad and stuff, but it's always somebody that like you're bound to them by blood. and they're in it too. There's a way to go harder in that, make the money now so that you can have a more relaxed life later. Don't let me tell you how to live your life, but I know it's hard to spin something up from scratch and get family supporting levels of money. You'll be on IG doing this pretty soon. When the iron is hot, you got to strike. When there's a window of opportunity, people are always blindsided. Like, oh, I can't believe I lost my job. I was there for 15 years. Well, yeah, like things change. You got comfortable. You got like not that good at your job. 15 years was a good run. Now you're broke. Now you're going to the gas station for roller food. When that window comes, especially if you're doing something creative, especially if you're like a YouTuber where people can ditch you, like people will drop you tomorrow if something whack happens. When that window is there, you have to be totally maximizing it, and like don't spend, don't stunt, don't upgrade the quality of your life. So don't be in a rush to figure out what to do with that money. Let it sit. If you have $20,000, let it sit and just keep adding to it. And the only time I've ever had success is when I see something because my interests overlap with, like, I have a little bit more knowledge than the average person in regard to like this one thing. And that overlaps with like an opportunity that comes my way. You'll know it when you see it, but it's like your genius friend, like the smartest kid in your high school comes around. He's already started a business. He's already got a successful business going, and he lets it be known that he's starting a new company. That's your time to be like, oh, I don't know. I don't know that much, but I have 40,000. Can I get in there somehow? Like that's the type of opportunity you're looking for, or a stock trade or a crypto thing. It's some instance where you have information that other people don't have, and opportunities come from weird places. The girl you're dating's dad is like a trash farmer, but you get it whatever. People have the opportunities that you really get in real life are weird.
Yeah, you're not gonna get them.
Like some guy that owns a grocery store and he needs you to come oil the tiles on the butter section. Like whatever weird thing. Yeah, you're gonna hear something like that 1 out of 10 times. In your gut you'll know, like, oh, that's the one. There's a guy who's making millions of dollars doing this, and he's asking me to come help. Okay, that's when you put everything into it. Like if you see an opening, take the whole 20,000 and invest it in that.
But I have a successful friend trying to convince me to sell cars with him. I don't know if that's a level up or not.
How successful is he? Is he successful? Usually if you have a successful friend trying to share the wealth with you, that is probably a sign that you might want to go do that. If he's actually trying to get you to do it and not just bragging about his own bankroll, that probably means you should take the helping hand there. Once you have an in, it might be wiser to try to maximize the amount of money that you're making and figure out how to finesse that job so that there's more money coming in versus jumping onto a whole new thing. I don't think jumping onto a whole new thing is the move for that guy. I think it's figuring out just, something to do. Buy the truck so you own it, rent it to somebody. Like whatever the truckers do to make money. I don't know how they make money. Whoever the highest paid people are in trucking, have a sit down talk with your dad. Like, Dad, look, I need to figure out a way to build this business. You brought me in, you showed me the ropes. What's the next step? I got to take it to the next level. As your son, need to make you proud. What's your advice? Figure out who to talk to. I think that jumping ship and starting a whole new thing, unless you have an avenue to do so, and it's like guaranteed money, that's kind of the harder path. There's got to be people in trucking who make $200,000 a year plus, $300,000. Who are they? What are they doing?
When people ask Nick about car sales, he's like, "Do it,
yeah,
murder it, kill it. It's primo, it's perfect."
Yeah.
But I remember you said that it wasn't for you.
Because I'm not likable that like Nick is. You're likable
to like
go sell cars. Yeah. If you've had somebody say, "Hey kid, I like the twinkle in your eye. You strike me as a special guy." Then maybe do car sales. I've never heard that though.
Yeah.
I've heard, hey, why are you looking at me like that? If you have a friend that's actually making a lot of money that thinks you can do it, then you probably go do that.
Hey Sam, just started my first full-time job. I now sell used BMWs. Any advice for someone just starting in the auto industry?
That's a Nick question, but dress nice. Learn how to dress nice within your budget. Shave. Don't look like a ragamuffin. Don't be pushy. Don't be desperate for a sale. People can smell it. Probably you just got to kind of trick yourself into being positive. You got to have a positive mindset when you get to work. You can't be because people when they come buy a car, they don't want to see anything negative, and they don't want to have some guy that's desperate for a sale either. That's like the very last thing they want to deal with. Yeah, but selling cars is get a side hustle. You know, selling cars sucks. It's not a good job, man. It's punishing. And this will come for you too. If you're a young guy with no skills and nothing going on right now, and you're listening to this, like, I don't make any money. Like, this will happen to you probably when you're like 31. Like once you get some age on you, you get some skills, you get like a network of people, like whatever it is that enables you to make a little bit of money. And this is not like a TikTok, like get rich in 1 hour type. This is a strategy for when this happens to you one time in your life, for when you have like the chance to make real money. You need to like aggressively stack it. Don't adjust the quality of your life. Like, don't start eating better. I mean, you know, find a woman who will like cook for you and like make good, cheap food. Like, do something like that. But don't start eating out. Don't like, you can make 80K a year and be poor. Like pretty easily. Like you can make 65K a year and be dead and be so broke that you have like nothing. You have nothing on you. And especially if you're near a city, you can make like 100,000 a year and not be saving any money. So get aggressive about your money and your time. Ooh, you're fucking hurting yourselves, you little idiots. Oh my God, man. There's a pathological aversion to money. It's similar to communism. It's similar to leftism and collectivism, where if you're aware of your own intrinsic lack of value, it's much more comfortable to believe that the world is a predatory system that is aligned against you. If you have an IQ of 95 and you're totally helpless and you have no talents and nobody ever trained you anything or told you that you have to get off your ass and you've just been making zines and poetry and being a vegan, your mind left to explore the world on its own, the conclusion that you come to is be vegan, and that's it. There's nothing else. Oh, and that we're all one, and that the universe is just God experiencing itself. The conclusions people draw on their own is just miraculous. So it can be very comfortable to believe the reason why I have nothing is because greedy people are preventing us from sharing. There's a lot that can be said about the failings of capitalism. You know, it's an imperfect system. The world is very complicated, but at the end of the day, it seems to be the way of distributing resources that is most in line with what we would consider to be a meritocracy. If you do something that's useful to society, you get financially rewarded for it. And there's all kinds of ways you can be parasitic and go for an outsized reward, et cetera. You can game the system really horribly, but it's not as bad as other systems of distributing resources, specifically because there's not sort of centralized human control. Like things move around based on price and demand pressures versus a human being who is much more fallible saying where they should go. All these people saying they have 20,000, 30,000, 60,000 for in your early 20s, that's a ton of money. Yeah. If you have 20,000 and you're 23, that's a lot of money. Do not be in a hurry to figure out what to spend it on. So here's the thing. Do not adjust your quality of life to match your income. That's what people do. They start making 80K, 90K, and then they're like, should I get a BMW 3 Series? And they rationalize it like, oh, it's the cheaper BMW. It's like a starter BMW, but it's like a nice car. I should upgrade the other parts of my life to match my income. Don't do that. Continue living cheaply. Just aggressively save your money. Like the only way to do it, if you're impulsive or if you have ADHD or whatever, is to gamify it, where it's like you're watching the number, like what you do with silver. Yeah. Like I know you're not doing it because you like need more money. You're doing it because you want to watch the number go up. Yeah. That's what you have to do psychologically to save money. But start doing that, and just that's all you got to do. But if you're not like in your gut, if you don't hear in your heart that like this is a sure thing, then don't even bother, because you're just going to blow through the money. So sit on the cash until you know in your gut that you have a winner on your hands, whatever that may be.